I'm Armando Smeke. I'm the head of strategic planning here in Posadas. And just for all of you to know, Posadas is the largest hotel company in Mexico. We operate around 200 hotels in Mexico and the Caribbean. And we are about 15,000 employees working every day trying to develop great experiences to all our guests. And it's kind of funny how I get to the hospitality industry because actually I'm a chemical engineering. And when I start my bachelor degree, I never expect to work in this industry. I started my career working as a consultant, saying smart things or trying to say smart things to clients and help them with some issues that they don't know or they don't have the time to solve. And one of my clients was Posadas. And my actual boss invited me to join the company. I think that he said, hey, it's cheaper for us to have you here in the company that pay your consultant firm for your services. So I moved to Posadas. What I was thinking, about moving, what I really was looking is to make an impact in people's lives. And I think that it's very hard to find a better industry than hospitality to impact the life of people because you impacted the life of our guests, our employees. It's a very human business. And that was the thing that I was looking for when I decided to left consulting and start working here. I've been working here now for 7 years. So
7. Okay, I was gonna. But and I have to say personally, and I already mentioned this to you, but I've stayed at one of your hotels in Puerto Vallarta, and it was incredible. The Grand Fiesta Americana. My wife and I, hands down, best vacation either of us have ever been on. And so thank you for that. Do you mind if we just jump right into some student questions? I'm getting some message in the chat and some emails.
Yeah, please.
And you guys who are on here, feel free to message them in the chat and we can unmute and you can ask them yourselves. So one of our kids wanted to know, how has your experience in human resources analytics influenced your approach to strategic planning in the hospitality industry?
Okay, that's a great question. Actually, I create the people analytics function in Posadas. And we were looking to bring more analysis and be a more data-driven company. And one of the first projects was to design the new organizational structure for the company. Imagine we are about, as I mentioned before, 15,000 people, and we need to understand what our people need, what's the best way to operate and to be organized. And I started working in this project that we call Project Iceberg, because we were only seeing the top of the iceberg, where we have a lot of information below. And I worked this specific project with the head of strategic planning at the time. So it was a great opportunity for me to show my skills, to show what I'm capable of. And this is an advice that I want to give to all of you. You never know which is a great opportunity to show yourself and to present all your capabilities or your skills. Don't feel the pressure, but you know who is watching. So I try to make my best in that project. And after 6 months working on that project, and a meal in, I don't remember the restaurant, I think it was a Cheesecake Factory here in Mexico. We have a Cheesecake Factory in Mexico. The former strategic planning head invited me to join the team. And I've been working in strategic planning since then. It was in 2018, I think.
That's wonderful. There's so many cool things about your career because you set out to do one thing and you pivoted and just became crazily successful in the other thing as well, which is so cool. I love that story. One of our kids wanted to know, how do you balance traditional hotel management methods with innovative approaches in your strategic planning?
Okay. I think that the first thing that you need to do when you are planning is to learn. And for me, learning is the main activity every day because you learn how you operate in a legacy way, but you need to keep in pace with new ways of operating hotels, new trends, learning, learning, learning. I'm a huge learner. I try to read every day, to be in podcasts, to watch some videos, to be in platforms like these that I think that are great. This is the best way to understand where you need to move. After that, it's very important to develop some communication skills because you need to communicate these changes and this new innovative way of operating hotels to people that have been operating hotels before I was born. The VP of operations in Posadas started working in Posadas before I was born. So it's kind of difficult to make them change some activities. But if you are good in communicating your ideas, if you have strong analysis, and you look for, and your main goal in this is to give the guest a great experience and have a successful business, I think that everything goes well. And also look for partners, for alliances, people that help you to make these changes. Last year, I had the opportunity to work with Boston's team from Cornell, and they were very disruptive to Posadas to bring people from outside Mexico with huge ideas, with no fear, and find these partners to make things change in legacy businesses. It's very important.
Yeah, and I gotta say, as someone who's been a customer of yours, absolutely incredible job. Keep it up. So, I
Thank
want
you.
to know what specifically could you talk about some challenges that you face professionally and how innovation has come to help fix those challenges?
Yeah. Um, I think that if you think about two things that if somebody died, I don't know, 50 years ago, and suddenly he wakes up and say, hey, I want to understand the world, I think that there are only two things that he will find exactly the same as when he was alive. The first one is the classroom, and that's what I love these kind of things because you are really innovating in how we teach. That's great. And the second one is how hotels operate. So there are legacy businesses with people that have been working in this business for many, many years. And I think that's one of the main challenges, how you make these people want to change, and also how you balance the technology and all these new, Gen AI, artificial intelligence, computers, your cell phone, and every that technology brings to our guest experience. But you need to balance all of these with the human interaction. You don't want to lose the human interaction. I think that one of our main competitive advantage is our service. And I'm pretty sure that when you were here in Puerto Vallarta, you really value the service and our people really caring about you and trying to understand your needs and leaving all that they have and trying to be with you with all of their heart to give you a great experience. So the great challenge is how you balance both, because you need the technology in order to be more productive, to reduce cost, and all of that. Also, because people are used to technology, but also keep the heart of the people and the human interaction in every experience in the hotel. I think that's a great challenge of this time. And innovation needs to come in both ways, in the technology side of the business, but also in how you use this technology in the human interactions to provide a better guest experience.
That is incredible. And in case you guys haven't figured this out, you guys either watching the recording or you guys live, Armando also has a background in teaching. So he's definitely showing that hat today as well. We have a question from Isaac. Isaac, you can unmute to ask. Isaac is in Europe. Awesome question, my friend. Go ahead and ask.
Hi, how is it to wake up every day knowing that you've achieved such dark success as being the manager of one of the largest Mexico hotels and head of the strategic planning at Grupo Posadas?
Oh, thank you, Isaac. It's very nice to have you here. I don't know if I feel myself as that successful, honestly. I wake up every morning trying to be the best at my job, trying to be better than I was yesterday, and with this commitment with the company, with this commitment with all the people that works with me, it's more like a sense of responsibility and commitment than a feeling of success. It's hard for me to define success. And honestly, I try to improve every day and have like these different goals in my life. Some short-term goals, some goals more in the long term. But I think that you are successful if you wake every day wanting to go to work, enjoying your family, enjoying your friends, enjoy what you work for a living. So I think that's where success is, to wake up every day knowing that you are going to work in something that you love with great people and having an impact in the world. And if you receive a salary for that, that's great, because I also need to pay some debts and my house and my food and Paul McCartney concerts and NFL games and all of that. So you need salary. It's very important. You work for the money also, and it's not a bad thing to say. You work for the money, but I think that when you find something that you love and you are also receiving a salary for, that's where you are successful.
That
I know
is
if I answer your question.
No, yeah, that more than answers the question. I mean, absolutely brilliant. I love how humble and modest you are. And you are very successful for someone in their 30s to have achieved so much. So just I can't imagine what else you're going to achieve in your life. We got a few more student questions. I'm gonna let you go. One of these was emailed to me, and I was kind of wondering this myself because Grupo Posados, you guys have been around 67 years?
We started with one hotel more than 50 years ago. We were only a one hotel company, and then the business started evolving, and now we have 200 hotels. But yeah, we have been around for more than 50 years.
So an older company like that, how do you guys cultivate an atmosphere of innovation? How do you bring that into the new realm of technology?
The first thing I think is we try to bring smart people, young people with new ideas to the company. It's the best way to keep improving and to keep innovating. So I hope that some of the students that are listening to me right now want to work for Posadas in a couple of years, and I'm sure that they are going to bring a lot of ideas to the table. I think that's one of the main things that we try to do. We try to explore different forms, be present everywhere that we can be, in some forms where it's in presence, on some virtual forms also, learning, trying to study, making alliances, as I mentioned that we have with Cornell, for example, a great alliance. And in my day-to-day work, we try to design some like processes to develop innovation. Try to left the company for 3 or 4 days and move to a hotel when we spend 4 days only thinking about trends and how we can improve our services and which technology we want to use in the hotels and in our service. So it's like 4 or 5 days that we only think. The name of that meeting in Spanish is La Junta, which translates in English to the meeting. It's the meeting, when we spend a lot of time just thinking and bringing new ideas and all of that. And we also try to bring all the people with ideas to speak up, for me is very important. So we open forums when we say to the people, hey, what ideas do you have? Because the best ideas are not always from the corporate side of the business, you know. And maybe the waitress of the chef in one specific hotel have a great idea of how we can change the way we are serving dinner or create a new way to our breakfast and all of that. So we encourage people to speak up and say, hey, I have these ideas. And we try to listen to everybody and implement those ideas and get money for that ideas. That's how we keep this business moving. And also something that is very important, listen to our customers and listen to our guests. It's very hard to innovate if you don't listen to your customers. And they are the main source of information for us, so to decide where we need to change something.
It sounds like you, as well as the leadership at Grupo Posadas, like you guys know when to lead and when to be led. And I think that is would you say that that's kind of an advantage in that position?
Yeah, in some things we are the leaders, and in some things we say something that is copy with pride. We learn what other people or companies are doing, and we copy them with very pride. We are not ashamed of saying that. We all, of course, that we try to tropicalize things in our way of work and the Mexican culture and the Posadas culture, but we are always learning from other companies, and sometimes the other companies are learning from us, like the business dynamics.
That's wonderful. And the Posadas culture is awesome. If you guys want to learn more about Armando and his colleagues' work at Grupo Posadas, go to posadas.com. We'll have that in the link as well. So before we let you go, I always ask this of all of our guests. So Armando, as someone, and we're going to say that you're very successful, as someone as successful as you are, what kind of advice would you have for these kids as they go off into the world and figure out what kind of path they want to lead?
The first thing that I want you to advise is to be good person, to be good people. It doesn't matter how smart you are, how successful you are. To being good human beings is the most important thing, and I think that is something that the world needs right now. To really care about each other, to really care about the community, really care about your country. For me, that's the most important thing. It's like maybe you take this for granted, but honestly, it's not. So being good human beings is very important. The second is never stop learning. It's very important to capitalize all the opportunities that you have. Opportunities like this, to be interacting in forums like this, to use these platforms, modern, friendly, take advantage of all the opportunities that you have. And you never know when this is going to take you. As I told you, I was just presenting one project, and after that project, I became the head of strategy, and now I'm responsible for a lot of people here in Posadas, for some multi-billionaire projects that we are working on. And that's because I think that I take the opportunity with all my heart, with all my effort, and try to be my best and keep improving each day. I know that it sounds like the typical T-shirt. I don't want to be Michael Scott saying some quotes, but try to be your better every day. It's very important, and create your own future. You don't need anybody to tell you what you are going to achieve. I started working chemical engineering because my father had a chemical company, and it went to bankruptcy before I finished my school, so I know where to work. And I started working in consulting, and then I moved to hospitality. I'm the owner of my destiny, and I am creating my own path in this life, in the professional life, but also in my personal life. So that's my advice, kind of a large advice.
We love it. And we are so honored to have you join us. We can't thank you enough, Armando. And before I end the meeting for all, I traditionally allow everyone to thank our guests for spending the time with us today. So can we all say thank you to Armando, and I'll let everyone go after that. Thank you so much, Armando. We wish you the best. We hope you have fun at the concert tonight, and we can't thank you enough, sir. Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you, Armando.
Thank you, Armando. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye
Thank you
bye.
so
My
much.
pleasure.
Thank you.